What's going on, everybody? The Island Rex TV back with another video. And in today's video, I would like to pose a question to all of you Laker fans all across the world. I would like to ask you, are you embarrassed to be a Laker fan at this current moment? And when I say this current moment, I mean this day and time. In 2021, are you embarrassed to call yourself a Laker fan in 2021? Now, the reason I asked this question is because I seen an interview by Shaquille O'Neal that he did. I think he was on his own podcast that he has on TNT, but he did an interview, and the interviewer asked him would he be going to the new crypto arena, and he just was kind of like, I don't support this Laker team because they're in seventh place. I wouldn't go to that extreme. And I feel as though, like, I'm still going to support my team no matter what, even if they're a seventh seed, even if I'm not a LeBron James fan. But I'm still going to support my team. But what I will say is I am disgusted with the lack of effort that I'm seeing out there on the floor every single night. And it brings me back to a point that that Carcino, shout out to Carcino. I watch a lot of his videos. And he spoke about how when Anthony Davis played for the New Orleans Pelicans, how he was just, putting up these incredible numbers. He was, regarded as one of the top big men, one of the best big men in the NBA. And, some people could still give him that, that title and give him that he could still be respected as one of the big names. However, it's like he's gotten lazy since he played for the Lakers. And it seems as though when you're playing with LeBron James, it's been rumored that players go out and they go to concerts. They're supposed to be in practice. But when Kobe was playing, and I always bring it back to Kobe, because Kobe coined the phrase, I bleed purple and gold. He worked tirelessly. He was a workaholic. He gave his all to the game of the sport. And when you hear players like Jordan Clarkson, when you hear players like Julius Randle, when they speak of Kobe, they speak about his, his work ethic, how he would get up early in the morning and be in the gym just taking 1,000 shots a day. And in practice, they talked about Byron Scott, how he would make them, he would have like these strenuous, like these really tough practices, and he would make them run a lot. Same thing with Pat Riley. Their conditioning was just another level. And Kobe, they had footage of when Kobe was in there. Kobe was outworking everybody at like 37 years old. So my point is, you can see the practice is starting to carry over into these games. It's like practice is, as they say, practice makes perfect. And the games is seeing as though they're playing in practice, or they're not taking practice as serious. So the same thing is being reflected within the game. So I got to show you guys something. I'm going to show you guys why I fell in love with basketball. This guy right here, Kobe Bryant, is the reason I fell in love with the sport. Kobe Bryant is the reason why I became a student of the game. This jersey right here, watching this man put on this jersey, it made me, when I bought my first jersey, I wore it with pride, honor, respect. Guys like Jerry West, these are people who were such great players, and they gave it all on the floor. And this is not what I'm seeing. And it's embarrassing to call myself a Laker fan. Even when we look at the arena, Shaq was saying how that's the house that him and Kobe built, which is, to me, I think Kobe deserves more credit because Kobe, because You know, Shaq, he played in Orlando, he played in Los Angeles. And that's not to discredit anything that Shaquille O'Neal did with the Lakers. He was by far, he's in my top 10, by the way, and he's still a phenomenal player. He's been to Boston, he's been to Phoenix, Cleveland, et cetera, et cetera. But Kobe, Laker through and through. 20-year run, never left. We heard rumblings about him leaving, so on and so forth. He came with the He came in as a Laker, left out as a Laker. Point blank, period. So Kobe deserves the credit for building that house. And for Shaquille O'Neal, he was saying how Staples said he's happy that they're changing the name. And this is why I say I don't think Kobe Bryant's statue should be anywhere near that building, because that's LeBron James. That's his building now. Sad to say. And it's a new day. You know, they're probably going to draft Bronny James. So the future is starting to look like the Lakers are laughing stock. It's embarrassing almost to be like, if you tell somebody you're a Laker fan, it's almost like people not even going to take you serious. They're going to laugh at you now. And I think headed towards the future that this brand is being tarnished, is being ran through the mud. I think that it's like mockery now. It's like, now it's just like a joke. I think people take the Lakers as a joke. No team take us serious when they play us, you know. And I'm not even going to get into, because like I said, a lot of people like to blame Anthony Davis, you know, Charles Barkley, blame Anthony Davis. But I think a lot of players, they become spot-up shooters when they play with LeBron James, and it's hard for them to find their footing. And for him to be dominant in a system where there's no plays being ran, it's just like nobody knows their role. They look disoriented. It's just like everything's all over the place. And it's embarrassing to be a Laker fan in this day and time, you know. And the new crypto arena, you know, when you look out into the crowd, you don't even see the A-list celebrities out there. You know, at me and Pops was talking about this the other day, or I think it was this morning. We was talking about it, and then we was talking about how when Magic Johnson was out there, it was Showtime. Now there's this running joke right now where they're calling the Lakers slow time. The stars are past their prime. LeBron James supposedly got some of the best talent, you know, in the game right now, supposedly. Russell Westbrook. And I asked Pops, I asked him this question. I said, if the Lakers trade away Russell Westbrook, no, I asked him, did he think that they was going to make a trade at the deadline? So he asked, when was the trade, you know, deadline or whatever. I told him it was in February. But, you know, teams are able to make trades, I think December 15th or the 21st, somewhere around in December. And I asked him, did he think that they was going to make a trade? And he was like, probably not. Who could they trade? I was like, well, he was like, the only person that they could trade is Russell Westbrook. And I said that, you know, I think that the Lakers are supposed to be sending a message. The Lakers would trade, if they traded anybody, it'd probably be Russell Westbrook. Carmelo Anthony has no trade value. Common sense, they're not going to trade LeBron James. But if the Lakers trade Russell Westbrook, to me, it will be sending a message that LeBron James is your future. Because Russell Westbrook is younger than LeBron James. He's younger than LeBron James. Anthony Davis is young. These are supposed to be your two cornerstones of the future. You're supposed to build around these two players. If you go in the direction of trading either one of those players, then you're favoring LeBron. And that means that LeBron James is not going anywhere anytime soon. Not for the next 2 years, not for the next 3 years, not for the next 4 years, and not for the next 5 years. That means that you are all in on LeBron James, whether that's good or bad. And like I said, as you look out in that crowd, you don't see the same A-list celebrities no more. You don't see the Lakers being, you know, they done took the Lakers game off for, I think, the Suns and the Warriors, if I'm not mistaken. Not even primetime TV no more. That's how much nobody takes the Lakers serious no more. It's like we're a joke. The team is being ran through the ground. It's not the Lakers that we once knew anymore. And that's fading away. It's going away. It's almost like a reality TV show. And that's not a good thing. You know, it's drama, all this stuff. I understand drama sells, but it's not, it's too Hollywood now. Like, it's just like becoming so obvious. And I'm really getting tired of what I'm seeing. You know, it's not, I don't have that passion and that love for the game anymore. As y'all can see in the videos, like, it's not there no more. Like, it's not even, I used to love basketball. Kobe made me love basketball. But with LeBron, it's like, I think it was Game 7 when we played the Boston Celtics. And this when Kobe Bryant won the championship. When the Lakers, I say Kobe Bryant, but this when the Lakers won the championship versus Celtics. Bro, I went hoarse. I literally went hoarse in that house screaming at the top of my lungs. Like, that night when we won that championship versus the Celtics, and the 2 nights that I could remember as a Laker fan was, of course, when we won the championship versus the Celtics, and then when Kobe Bryant had that 60-point night. Like, that was one of the 2 of the best moments of my life. Like, I've never, like, cheered and roared at the top of my lungs. Just like, I almost thought my mom was going to put me out. Like, I speak about this all the time. Like, and I remember Kobe retirement, like, everything that it's just like, I even remember games cheering for Jordan Clarkson and, you know, Julius Randle. Like, maybe, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and I'm losing, I'm no longer have that feeling that the younger kids have. You know, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just getting older. I don't know. However, but I'm starting to be embarrassed to be, you know, associated with the Lakers. But when I think about players like Kobe, even Jerry West, you know, just hearing his story and, like, hearing his dedication for the game, how he used to stand in his driveway. Like, I would religiously watch Jerry West interviews and hear him talk about basketball. Like, watching Kobe turned me into a student and made me want to understand the game that much more. Like, Jerry West, you know, talking about how he stood in his driveway. His brother passed away. I think his brother was in the military. He passed away. And he stood in the driveway practicing clutch shots. Same thing with Kobe. You know, I remember being in my driveway when I used to live in this house. And, like, my mom put a basketball court in our driveway, and I used to stand outside, work on my left hand, like, going out there practicing the moves. Like, it's not the same no more. And even when I look at the newer generation, they don't even watch games. You know, they just watch the highlights. But, like, I'm still watching Laker games. But Kobe made me want to understand basketball, break it down. He made me respect all the past legends as well. Now you got players just standing around and, you know, not running back on defense, LeBron. You know, even Kareem is being critical of LeBron. Robert Horry. Everybody's disgusted to be a Laker fan at this point. And I think everybody is at a turning point right now. They're at the tip of the iceberg because it's like LeBron James is held as this supposed to be better than Jordan and supposed to be like he's on the supposed to be on the Mount Rushmore. He's supposed to be on this level beyond everybody, and they're not seeing that. So now the pressure is on him. And they're blaming Anthony Davis. If I was Anthony Davis, I would demand a trade, honestly. I would demand a trade. And Russell Westbrook, I would demand a trade too. And just be honest, like, I don't want to play with LeBron. But you guys let me know what y'all think. Y'all get in that comment box, like, share, subscribe. I'm out.